Oh Lord, the heavens declare your glory. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge without speech or language, without a sound to be heard. Their voice has gone out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens He has pitched a tent for the sun, like a bridegroom emerging from his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and runs its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is trustworthy, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, bringing joy to the heart. The commandments of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true, being altogether righteous. They are more precious than gold, than much pure gold. They are sweeter than honey from the comb. By them indeed your servant is warned, and keeping them is great reward. Who can discern his own errors? Cleanse me from my hidden faults. Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me, then I will be blameless and cleansed of great transgression. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Oh Lord, the heavens declare your glory. The sky don't keep it quiet, it tells on the day. Glory in the morning, then the night gives way. The stars preach with no tongue, still I hear them say, there is a hand above me, calling me to stay. Day to day keeps speaking, night to night keeps on. No word leaves that canvas, the message carries on. Let the words of my mouth be clean, be true. Let the thoughts in my chest belong to you. Let the words of my mouth be clean, be true. Let the thoughts in my chest belong to you. Your law is more than paper, it wakes up the soul. Your way can make the simple steady and whole. Your orders are right enough to show me the road. Your words are sweet like honey when my spirit feels cold. They shine where I'm blind, they pull me back in line. They open up my eyes like light through the pine. Let the words of my mouth be clean, be true. Let the thoughts in my chest belong to you. Let the thoughts in my chest belong to you. Let the words of my mouth be clean, be true. Let the thoughts in my chest belong to you. May my rock and my redeemer hear me tonight. Make my hidden light stand in the light. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of His name. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, I don't want for more. He lays me in green fields by the still shore. He brings my soul home when my path runs dry. He leads me, even if I lose my way. He knows my name. Even if the dark gets close, He stays the same. The Lord is my shepherd, I will not fear. He walks right beside me, He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd, my cup runs over, mercy in every step, grace on my shoulders. He leads me straight on the right road, line for His own good name. He makes it shine when I walk through the valley of death's deep shade. I won't break down, I won't be afraid. You're with me, your rod, your staff, they steady my heart. When the night feels long, you light the dark. The Lord is my shepherd, I will not fear. He walks right beside me, He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd, my cup runs over, mercy in every step, grace on my shoulders. You set a table right in front of my foes. You anoint my head and you overflow. Goodness and mercy will follow me home all the days I breathe. I'm never alone, never alone. He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd. My cup runs over. My cup runs over. Mercy in every step. Grace on my shoulders. Oh Lord.
Wait, my bad. I didn't mean to restart it. Shout out to everybody. Grace and peace, everybody. I'm back here doing stuff, getting it ready. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful Friday. It has been a busy day over here at Whitaker Park. Shout out to the best live channel on the internet. I know we're starting a little bit early because I had a couple of not intended videos I want to talk about, and some content is going to go a little bit longer than I anticipated. So shout out to Lady Demari Reacts. Thank you so much for becoming a brand new member. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody who's in the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate y'all, even those who are watching with nefarious purposes. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you get my best side. Holla at you. Hope everybody's doing great today. We got a good one for you. This is going to be a different show because we're going to talk about some news items, and then I'm going to do a story time at the end. I just thought I found a video today that just spoke to exactly to me. So hopefully y'all will enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy watching the video again. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Shout out to the best. All right, what we got here? We got the people up in here. We got you. Good to see you, love. Good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, you're never too late. Never too late. I just got us warmed up. I had to drop a little bit of music in to get us warmed up. You know, real quick. Let me get a little consensus. I've been starting to show last couple of episodes, shows with the Rhythm and Bible podcast here on YouTube. Grabbed was that Psalm 19 and the 23rd Psalm. Give me your overall opinion. Maybe give me a thumbs up, give me a green heart if you like it, that kind of stuff like that. I'm thinking about just maybe starting a show like that. And maybe I'll even end the shows like that too. If it's well received. I think it's well received, but I just want to hear what y'all think about it. So what are y'all thoughts on it? I love it. Well, there we go. That works for me. It's so good here. Well, I'm hoping I'll have a good one tonight. All right, shout out. Okay, all right. I'm feeling what y'all throwing down. Okay, so I'll probably more than likely just keep doing that. There's some other ones as well that are not AI driven, but I gotta make sure I can get copyright, get the rights to use it, because I would love to use some other ones. There's some other ones just to mix it up a little bit. I enjoy audio Bibles. I enjoy audio Bibles with a little bit of music to it, if you will. And this one is definitely coming in clutch. So shout out to him. Shout out to Biblical Worldview. Y'all go check her out over there. What's going on? Okay, I love it. Okay, love it. And if the mods could just make sure, I think I put Rhythm and Bible down in the description. I may not have. If I didn't, could you put in the chat for me? Help a brother out. I would love to have them on as a guest. Maybe we'll make that happen. I thought they were out of the States, but you know what? No excuses. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do want to say thank you all to everybody who's tapped in to the not only this live chat, but other ones. Thank y'all yesterday for tapping in. We had Neeson Black on yesterday. That was a great interview. We had a lot of fun, and it was a pleasant surprise because I thought it was going to be. I just didn't think it was going to be that fun. I don't know what to say, and it was a lot of fun. So needless to say, you have no fear. Have no fear, people. Neeson will be coming back very, very soon. So shout out to that. We already got it nailed down. I'm gonna keep y'all on your pins. I gotta keep y'all guessing when though. But he'll definitely come back. Thank y'all so much for being receptive. Thank you so much for the great questions and comments, all that kind of stuff like that. That was excellent. I'm so glad. And no, that was not bird hands. It was not bird hands. I was giving you a thumbs up. Give it an A-OK sign. But shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much. That was a lot of fun having him on yesterday. I also want to say thank you so much for hitting the like button. It's been helping out a whole lot. Last month, I think we topped out at 76,000 likes. Still, my goal was 150, so I'm halfway there. So this month we got to go harder. We got to go harder in the paint. So just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. It's not gonna hurt you. And if you don't like me, just hit the like button 3 times. Just hit it 3 times. That's all I'm telling you to do. That's it. That's it. Just hit the like button 3 times. It'll help out a whole lot. All right, we got to get into this because I really don't want to talk about this. And it is the Karmelo Anthony case. I'm not really, I don't like this. And I'll explain why. Because I hate to say it, let's just be honest. The Karmelo Anthony, most of us tap into the Karmelo Anthony case or cases in general as we don't intention to do this. We don't intend to do this, forgive me, but it's a form of entertainment. Okay, let's just tell the truth. You watch crime TV, you watch court TV, you watch that stuff. It's a little bit of entertaining. It's a little bit of capturing you're entertaining you. It's a little bit of capturing your attention while you're doing work or while you're doing stuff around the house. It's kind of entertaining. I hate to say it like that, but let's just be honest, right? And I think everybody knows that there's a form, there's a level, there's a degree of entertainment to court TV, to court dialogue, or whatever you want to call it. And sadly, because we're not able to see what's going on in the actual courtroom and what's actually happening with Karmelo Anthony and the witnesses and this, that, and the third, we're getting information. We're getting information fed to us through various and sundry journalists and such of that nature. And I knew this was going to happen. So we have journalists that come through that, oh, this person is telling me what I want to hear and it's tickling my entertainment, or this person is telling me what I believe is already true and that's tickling my entertainment or capturing my attention. But a lot of this, I hate to say it, is not real. I don't think it's good. And because now we're watching the different factions outside of the courthouse protesting for what? Like what are you doing? Both of them. If you're pro or you're anti, what are you doing? What are you protesting for? What's going to change? All you're going to do is end up causing something to go south. And I hate it. So I'm a little bit tense. That's why I don't really want to talk about Karmelo Anthony trial. I know people want to hear about it. People want to hear my thoughts. And I've gathered several little articles so we can talk about it and keep it civil. But I feel bad because I'm like, this is a young man's life that is, well, one young man's life was taken. This young man's life, either way, his life, he's not going to walk out free. You can just give that up. Either way, this man's life is lost. We got 2 young men whose lives are lost. And the world, or let's just say, let's say the world. The world is salivating to watch what happens to this man, not because they care about his soul, that he's a sinner that needs a savior, but we're just being entertained by him. I mean, this is effectively modern day gladiators. I mean, that's basically what this amounts to in some ways or shapes or form. I just feel like, this is not a good look for us. And especially going into the midterms, we got all of this attention going here. You had what happened in South Carolina this week as well. You got a lot of people that are really, you can say tribalistic, you can say factions are forming, whatever it is that you got to say. But really, I don't know, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for the community. I feel bad for that school. I feel bad for those witnesses, those jurors. And of course, I mean, I feel bad for the people that are out there. Again, like, what are you protesting for? We love to sit there and protest about what? What are you protesting for? Not one thing is going to change. Not one thing is going to change if you don't yell. Not one thing is going to change if you're not standing out there checking your armpit to see if it's funky. Nothing's going to change. What's going to change is what's happening in that courtroom. And my last point, and I'm going to get on somebody's nerve. I really want to. My goal is to perturb some of my guests that watch my channel with nefarious purposes. Where is the church in this situation in Frisco, Texas? I'd love to see, like, what are churches doing about this situation? Because every day when we pull this in, we'll look in a second. There are tons of people who are lost. There are tons of people who have no hope in Christ, and they find their hope. They find their value. They're finding what is, borderline meaningful in protesting for a young man that killed another young man. That's how they find value. Can we please make this make sense? Please? Like, what are we doing? That makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm a little bit bothered by it. That's why I don't really talk that much. Cause I was gonna like, do like all day streaming of it and talk about it and bring in highlights and all that stuff like that. I said, no, we're just gonna do a nightly recap and call it a game. Cause it just seems like it's I don't know, man. I don't like it. That's my name. My name is Jason, jwitt@jwitt.com. Let me know what you think. Tell me I'm a terrible person. I need to get in here and I need to get at it. I need to be worried about this thing. Like, why are we finding entertainment in that? I just find very weird. Okay, so our sister from another mister, Tamara Neely, is actually there at the courthouse. Shout out to her. She's been, wait, is this delayed? Okay, I think she might have, did she end her stream? I know she's been out. Well, okay. So let me give you an example. Hold on, let me pull this in. All right. Well, you need to see it. There we go. Let's go. All right. So this is Tamara's stream. It looks like she ended her stream already. But I just dropped in. I just want you to check this out. Green hearts in chat when you can hear. Like what is, I'm not even trying to be funny, not even trying to be difficult or be obtuse. What does justice mean? What does justice mean in this situation? We know Karmelo Anthony deleted the boy, so he's got to get justice. So what does justice mean to this group? So that's what I'm saying. Like the protesting is retarded from the word go. Like what are we doing? And it just seems like, I don't know, man. I don't think this is good. I am praying that that this is like a 2-week trial, that it is over with, by the end of next week or going into the next week at the most. I'm really praying that this is over soon. I don't think I don't know. What are we doing?
As you can see, the news is here recording.
But what are we doing though? What is the purpose of this? I'm not trying to be funny. And please, if I'm being obtuse, jwitt@jwitt.com. What is the purpose of this for both sides? What is the purpose? Right. I'm right there. Mindy's feeling what I'm saying. I'm fearing that there will be riots if he's found guilty because they won't accept the facts. Right. I mean, you said you want justice. Justice will be metered out. And when the verdict is read out, that will be justice. So is there a justice that you want, or is there a justice, or do you just want your way? Is my question. Went to prison. He will. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a purpose. Like, what's the purpose of being out here, quote unquote, protesting for this? Like, what's the purpose of this? I'm just watch a few more seconds. I'm gonna go.
Prison number.
You said what's his prison number is foul. Jeffrey Dahmer is getting called into the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Can somebody tell me what this lady's dancing to? What is she dancing to? What is she must be jacked in to some old 70s funk, because she is getting groovy with it. Man, what are you dancing to? But again, like, this is what I'm saying. Like the newscasts are filming this and just chomping and salivating at the mouth. For what? Like, what's the purpose of being there? Why are we there arguing? None of this is going to change anything. Not one thing that y'all argue, not one thing that y'all say is going to change one witness. And yeah, I don't know, man. I do not think this is good at all. I'm praying for Frisco, Texas, because as somebody said, they're going to riot. I hope they don't, but I can see where you get it from. Let's jump over to Court TV. We'll get a synopsis of what's happening over here, and then we'll keep this game moving. So shout out to the best live chat on the internet. I appreciate y'all for sure. All right, let's go. What you got, Court TV?
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julia Janae. After an emotional first day of testimony yesterday that prompted tears even from the jury box, those jurors returned to the courthouse in McKinney, Texas today for more testimony in the track meet stabbing trial of Karmelo Anthony. Thanks so much for being with us as we follow day 2 today. We understand that the court is breaking for their lunch. That happened a short time ago. That means our eyes and ears.
Okay, there's a lot of people with arguments about the days. So day 1 in most people's argumentation was Monday. So today, and it didn't have court on Wednesday. So today would be day 4. I think they're going with, they're not including the 2 days of jury selection. So most people are saying day 2, they're starting with yesterday and today. That's how we got here. So I'm counting the 2 days of jury selection as well in my numbering. So that's why I say today's day 4. They say today 2. We're going to say tomato. We're going to say tomato. And let's keep going. Well, maybe that.
Here's in the courtroom, Cody Thomas. He is going to be able at some point to be able to join us from outside of the courthouse. But he's been keeping us updated on everything that's unfolding in this camera-less trial. Let's go to the report that Cody logged for us on what he's been observing.
Good afternoon. Yeah, day 2 off to a emotional start this morning. We had a first responder as the first witness on the stand. 3 witnesses so far, first responder and 2 officers. The first responder was a firefighter and paramedic that pretty much testified to the severity of the wounds once he arrived to Austin Metcalf's body, and just talked about the intense life-saving efforts they went through trying to revive him, to which, of course, to no avail. But they talked about, attaching a machine to his chest to read a pulse, and he had no pulse. They said it was flatline. There was an acronym he used, a medical term, and the prosecutor asked for, simplicity for the lay people in the gallery, and he just said, yeah, he had no pulse. He was pretty much dead in a cardiac sense. They loaded him up into the back of the ambulance, to which, he eventually did not regain consciousness. But then we went on to see more from officers, and they were testifying about their response to the situation that day. One was a school resource officer. He was actually the one that made contact with Karmelo Anthony and the one who detained him. But he talked about the commotion when he ran out there to the scene, all the kids running to him saying, someone's been stabbed, and they pointed towards Karmelo's direction. And so you see on the body cam when he finally approaches Karmelo, and Karmelo seemed to cooperate. He was being very cooperative. He was being compliant. He didn't try to run away. But the key thing about this testimony here on the body cam, you hear Karmelo say to the officer, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. And when he says that phrase, he clearly he's crying hysterically. You can hear him sobbing in a very emotional state. But the prosecution's harping on that last half of that statement, the I told him not to part, because the prosecution says that's simply a lie. We've heard that phrasing, he told him not to put his hands on me, or put your hands on me and see what happens. That's the narrative that the prosecution's running with, and that eventually led Karmelo to stab Austin Metcalf. But there was another officer whose body cam was played during this officer's testimony, where you heard the officer say, we have the alleged suspect, and then you clearly hear Karmelo say out loud, I'm not alleged, I did it. So kind of damaging to the defense's case here. But then we just heard from an officer who arrived who did not partake in any life-saving efforts for Austin Metcalf's body. More of scene patrol, scene security is what he was saying, and evidence control. He was the one securing off the scene there, and he actually showed, or we saw pictures of the knife. It was a 5-inch blade. The first time the jury actually saw that knife in person, they did a demonstrative effort in front of this jury where they showed that the blade could be swung out really quick with just the stroke of a thumb. You could open it really quickly with one hand. But the impactful part of that testimony is that we saw the body cam from this officer, where you actually see Austin Metcalf's pretty much lifeless body. Everyone trying to give him chest compressions, but you see the body on screen, and that obviously brought out a visceral, emotional reaction from the Metcalf family. Plenty of tears and sobbing and consoling. And I looked towards Carmelo Anthony's side, and it was pretty stoic. There was a lack of emotion there, not necessarily in a negative sense, but just really take evidence here, all the facts of this case as the prosecution presents it thus far. That's the latest right now. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks to Cody Thomas for that report there in McKinney, Texas. Let's bring in our guests who are standing by to talk about this evidence, this new evidence that the jury has seen inside of that courtroom. We have with us trial attorneys Lateef Gray and Al Wunsch III. Thank you both for being here to talk about this case that has so many people talking online. They are paying attention to the details, even though we don't have cameras inside, but the details that are coming out, everyone has an opinion on them, and I'm glad I can get your legal expertise on these. Al, let me start with you. The jury seeing the knife for the first time today. How important is the weapon, the size of the weapon? Does it matter, especially when this is a knife that obviously was able to kill someone?
No, I mean, it's always a key part of any prosecution case to have the weapon. So when you have the weapon there and you can show that, and it dispels any, false rumors that it was a stake or something that was used for the sporting event that was going on. This is a knife. This is a knife that is a dangerous knife, and this is a knife that should not have been at a sporting event for a high school team. Perfect.
Lateef
right there.
Gray, weigh in as well about that knife. What did you think about hearing that it's a 5-inch blade, that it was folded out at the point that the officers were able to preserve it? Talk about that part of it and whether or not that makes a difference when it comes to this case being self-defense or murder.
Well, I think it does make a difference in the fact that you have a 5-inch switchblade. This is not what we would consider a utility knife, which a lot of people keep with them, that has a little blade, a bottle opener, things like that. So the big question is, what was this young man doing at this track event with this type of knife that it seems like he brought it maybe for his particular purpose? So that's the big question as to what he was doing with this type of knife, which is not what we usually see people walk around with on a daily basis.
Yeah, we keep hearing that question. Why did he have the knife? Now, there was something that came out today, Al, where on cross-examination, one of the witnesses did confirm that having the knife is not a crime, but they don't mean at the school, obviously, because there is a specific rule for that school ground. Can you help people understand the difference and whether or not those school regulations matter in a court of law, in a murder trial?
Well, I mean, it is something that no weapons are supposed to be brought into the schools. Schools have a zero tolerance of any type of, they have a zero tolerance for having a pretend gun. You can't even bring a water pistol in some instances if it looks like a real weapon. So that is a zero tolerance policy. Okay, having the possession of the knife is not a criminal offense in and of itself. That's correct, okay? But it's a school event. He's a student. He's there. He's got a knife, 5-inch switchblade, which, I mean, we all agree is not the type of thing you would need under any circumstances at a sporting event. And he used the knife. So, whether or not it's legal to have it, it doesn't matter. Okay. It shouldn't have been there, and it shouldn't have been used, and it shouldn't have taken the life of that, poor 17-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you they would not be having this argument about whether it been a 5-inch knife or 4¼ inch knife or a Bowie knife like your Crocodile Dundee. They would not be having that conversation if it were a school pew-pew. Everybody knows that's a weapon that doesn't need to be there. Why are we arguing about whether or not the weapon need to be there? It should not have been there. That was it. His end of the discussion. Well, let's move on. He was wrong for having the weapon there. I don't understand. See, this is the part that kind of makes me a little frustrated, and I wish the court was actually being recorded or being streamed so we could watch that, so we could hear it together rather than just a talking head here. And again, I agree with him, but I just think that some people have lost the plot. No, you can't have that at school, my dude. Okay, let's get that.
This question of whether or not you're allowed to have it and whether or not that matters in a criminal trial reminds me of a case that I was inside of the courtroom for in Florida against Curtis Reeves, who was a retired police officer at a movie theater. There were signs on the movie theater doors that said, this is a no weapon zone. He had his weapon. He fired it in self-defense. A jury did acquit him of murder and killed another man who only had popcorn in his hand. But it did come up inside of the courtroom as to whether or not he saw the signs, whether he knew he should have it, or as a retired officer, is he allowed to carry the gun all the time? Lateef, is that, in your opinion, going to be weighing on the minds of the jury?
I think that's a different situation. A movie theater saying no weapons policy and a school being a weapons-free zone, in my opinion, are two different places. Not only are they two different places, but they're two different situations as well. There's a reason why. Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think she should have brought that into the mix, but that's just me.
Jury about where should this knife have been? Where was it permitted to have been? Or again, does it matter at all because this knife was used in a way that killed someone?
Well, I will say
I'm
this.
sure that's something that
All right, let me let Lateef weigh in, Al, and then I'll let you react to it.
All right.
I'm sure that's something that the jury will consider, but I think we all know law trumps policy. So if it's not against the law, like I said, it's something that the jury will consider, but I don't think that will carry the day for either side at the end of the day.
Al, what do you think? Law trumps policy?
Yeah, law does trump policy, except that, and let's keep this in mind. This isn't Florida. Okay, that was the most ridiculous verdict I've ever heard in my life that happened with regards to a guy who throws a couple of, assault and buttery, I called it, and he ends up losing his life in a movie theater. All right, this is Texas. I am confident that they're going to be a lot smarter jury, and they're going to be looking at it facts-wise as to what was going on, as opposed to some ridiculous verdict out of Florida.
Let's look at what the school resource officer on the stand today. This was, of course, a big moment. This is someone who would have arrived right after. And here are some of Cody Thomas's notes from inside watching that testimony. This witness, Eduardo Cortez, he was a school resource officer. He described the arrest of Karmelo Anthony. He said an adult pointed out the suspect and said, that's the guy. I called him towards me. I patted him down. I had him raise his arms and ordered him to walk with me along that fence line. He obeyed me. He didn't try to run away. I turned on my body-worn camera, had him place his hands behind his back, and had him detained. The thing that most shocked me was that a student brought a knife to a track meet, and this witness agrees that that alone was unprecedented. Then on cross-examination, this witness agrees that Karmelo Anthony was emotional, said the knife is under 5 inches, actually not prohibited. It's not illegal, not a crime. So that's what I was mentioning there of this witness speaking about it that way. But that body camera footage, Lateef, it was played inside of the courtroom today. That is always really important for jurors to see as much as they can. And here they get to see the body camera, not of days later when police catch someone, but right after it happens, this school resource officer is on the scene.
Right, and the body-worn camera presumably captures some spontaneous statements, excited utterances made by Mr. Anthony in the moment of the event while it's still on his mind and heavy on his heart. So oftentimes these body-worn cameras, which capture the aftermath of the incident, are best evidence because they capture things that are said and things that are done before anybody has time to consult with an attorney and develop a defense to what the particular charges are.
Al, what do you think about the weight of that body camera? Because I do want to add some of the notes that we're getting from the courtroom that you can hear on it, a handful of crying students. One child yells out, "That's my best friend, that's my brother," while crying and trying to come at Karmelo Anthony's our understanding of that moment. I mean, there's so much sobbing when it comes to these children and the trauma that they're going through. And you're also hearing that sobbing in the courtroom. And this is something that is very compelling evidence, I would think, for these jurors.
Absolutely. But you know what I didn't hear? They were trying to kill me. I was feared for my life. I had nothing I could do. I had to do this to be able to get out of there because they were going to take my life. They were going to kill me. They were going to beat me to a pulp. I didn't hear any of that. So the self-defense argument starts to kind of fade a little. Because that's at the moment when he's confronted by this officer and has the chance to say, listen, I did this because I had to. If I didn't, I would not have been able to get out of that tent. They were trying to beat me up. They were trying to do something to me. They were trying to kill me. You don't hear that. So I think that's going to be very important with regards to the prosecution's case. And of course, you hear those other cries going in the background. I mean, that's just an emotional aspect of it. It just shows you just how horrific this crime is.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing. And I mean, I feel terrible for both individuals, honestly.
Amen. Amen.
I hate to see that this, Mr. Anthony has ruined his life.
Facts.
With this ridiculousness of bringing on a knife to attract me, and going into the opposite field, the opposing team's domain, and why?
All right. So shout out to Court TV. I think that was very interesting. So let me know what y'all think about it. I do have another one. We're going to jump over here and look at something that happened in court today that is probably going to be on the news most of this weekend as well. This is interesting because, today's Friday, so we got the weekend. There's not a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of recaps. So Karmelo Anthony fidgets in court as heartbreaking video shows victim's twin brother react to fatal deletion. And I don't know why it's not allowed. The screen didn't open up. Let's see what's going on here. Let me hit that refresh button real quick. All right, it's a conspiracy. Austin Metcalf's twin brother could be heard desperately sobbing and screaming after his high school jock sibling was fatally stabbed allegedly by Karmelo Anthony, who squirmed in the courtroom as harrowing body cam footage was played. Yeah, that's got to be pretty powerful, like to see that and know that that's what you did. So, holy God, Hunter Metcalf said through tears, apparently praying, "He's my best friend. He's my brother. Hurry up." Man, sad for these kids, man. The heartbreaking moment unfolded as medics and bystanders crowded around the bloodied body of Austin and attempted to revive him with CPR as the video was shown to the jurors in the second day of the Anthony murder trial. I'm just going to hit the high points. Sorry about that. Anthony, now 19, sat in Collin County Courthouse in McKinney, fidgeting, including touching his lips and averting his eyes during particular graphic moments. At one point, he rubbed his eyes and his lawyer sitting next to him patted him on the shoulder. Yeah, that's going to be, this is just wild, man. Anthony also briefly quivered toward the end of the harrowing video. Anthony, a student at Frisco Central High School, is accused of knifing Austin, who attended Frisco Memorial High School during a track and field meet on April 2nd, 2025. The pair got into an altercation after the 17-year-old victim asked Anthony, who was also 17 at the time, to move out from under the Memorial team tent. The pair allegedly shoved each other before Anthony pulled a folding knife out of his bag and stabbed Austin once in the chest, prosecutor claimed. I don't understand why they have to say the word claim. Like, they know the boy has one stab wound. Like, you don't have to say the prosecutor claimed that. Like, he did get stabbed in the chest one time. I've never understood that. Why? Okay, yeah, he did it one time. He didn't go back and forth. He didn't like get him multiple times. Just did one time. I never understood that. And I'll leave the link to this down in the description as well, so you can definitely check it out. I think I have most of these in there, but I might not. I'll do better. Anthony has pled not guilty, as his lawyers claim the stabbing was self-defense after Austin started the fight. Okay, I think that's the end of it. That New York Post, boy, they be wilding out. Yeah, I don't know why this is not popping up, but all right. So what are we thinking? What's going on, Present Not Perfect? Grace and peace to you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Like I said, man, I feel bad because I'm like, this young man's life is toast. His life is done. Dunzo. And that's just sad to see, man. Like your whole deal is shot. All right, real quick. I'm gonna go through a couple of X posts real quick and get this out of the way. Sorry about that, President. All right. The judge told the media not to identify the current witness because he's a minor. That's an update from Brianna Morello. The witness says Karmelo Anthony was asked at least 15 times to leave their tent. Anthony refused to leave. The teen says no one ganged up on Karmelo. Witnesses added that Karmelo was provoking Austin. Witness says Austin Metcalf pushed Karmelo, but it wasn't a hard push. That's when Karmelo pulled the knife from his book bag and stabbed him. He adds Karmelo tossed the weapon and ran off. The 911 call placed by the witness was played. All right. I do have these links down in the description, so you can definitely go check out Brianna Morello. There's a lot of them. So I figured I'm just going to kind of hit some of the high points, and then we're going to kind of move on. So what do we have here? We got Mary Ann Martinez. Shout out to her. I appreciate her sharing her insight. Let me make sure I got that right on my side. All right. Let's make this bigger. We are back from court for an afternoon session with Karmelo Anthony trial. The judge has asked the media to not identify the upcoming witnesses who are minors. We were not told who the minors are or what they will be testifying to. All right. 17-year-old Memorial High School male athlete now testifying. We have been told not to give his name. He had been hanging out with Austin on the day of the stabbing, and he also runs track for Memorial. He was under the tent with Austin Metcalf. All right. I'm just hitting the high points of these, y'all. I am not going into deep dives on these at all, because there's so many of them. And yes, they're some of them are repetitive, but I just thought it would be good to kind of get a gauge from everybody, or at least a large number of the people that are talking about it. Where is this thing at? Okay. All right, let's go. Inside the courthouse. This is against Savannah Hernandez to give you an idea of how difficult it is to get into the courthouse in the Karmelo Anthony trial. One reporter told me that she was waiting to get in since 4 a.m. I don't know how, because they're not supposed to be on the grounds until 6. And she says it right here. There is a curfew imposed, and no one is allowed to be on the courthouse grounds from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. But she states that the people were waiting on the sidewalk near the courthouse as early as 4 o'clock. About 10 minutes before the curfew let up, officials allowed people to start lining up to get inside. Keep in mind that only select people are allowed inside the actual courtroom, but there are separate rooms for media and any other attendees where the trial is being streamed. Many Karmelo Anthony supporters have made sure to line up early so that there's the ones in these seats. During jury selection yesterday, I watched them take detailed notes regarding each potential juror as the selection process took place. There are only 27 seats in the alternate room, and strict media rules set in place for the trial and restrict access details from getting out of the trial process. All right. So shout out to Savannah. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, like what's the purpose of this? Somebody really, truly, I'm not even trying to be difficult. What's the purpose of this? What? What is the purpose of that? Like, okay. Fine. You think Karmelo Anthony's innocent. Fine. You think Karmelo Anthony is guilty. But in threatening individuals, what is that? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this is good. I don't see. So what is the purpose of arguing this out here on the street? Like, what's the purpose of that? And being the fact that the witnesses have already disagreed with her, does she know that? Maybe that's why she wearing that hot sweater and a turtleneck. It might have fried something. Like, ma'am, the witnesses have disagreed with you. Ooh, you declare, we decree Karmelo Anthony will walk free. Okay. All right. We'll see what you're decreeing and declaring going to do. Justice for it is a long. I'm assuming this means Karmelo Anthony. What's justice then? What is justice for him? Did he not take someone's life? What is justice then? See, I don't think these people, they're using words, but I don't think they know what the words actually mean. There's no sound. Somebody said there's no sound. You cannot hear it. Okie dokie. Why can you not hear it? Let's see what is the problem. Well, I'm telling you right now, you ain't missing nothing. If that matters any, let me drop it out here. Let's bring it back in. You didn't miss anything, but we got to make sure we give the people what they're looking for. We got to give the people what they're looking for. All right. We're going to try again. Did y'all hear the first one, though? All right, we're going to try again. Now I got to listen to this again, y'all. This is cruel and unusual punishment. All right. I didn't have it muted. I think the audio dropped because I keep switching tabs. Sometimes when I drop tabs on my side, it tells me that the audio drops. I don't know what that is, why it does that. Okay, Greenheart's in chat where y'all can hear.
He was not aggressive. Karmelo was not aggressive.
Girl,
he was minding his damn business.
you was minding that sweater.
We the crowd. We agree. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd.
They declared a decree.
We the crowd. We agree. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We agree. Karmelo Anthony will walk free.
Y'all gonna be looking real wild in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Like, okay, help me understand. I want to understand this guy. I don't want to be just cantankerous. You think that this man should be able to leave from court and he is responsible for the deletion of another human? Like, please help me understand that. So he should get no punishment. He should walk, quote unquote, free because he deleted somebody. Like, help me understand that. And then how is that justice for him? I just would love to know. I also want to know why this woman's wearing that sweater and that hot stuff. She's making me hot looking at her.
We the crowd. We agree. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We agree. Karmelo Anthony will walk free.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
He was not.
So what is the purpose of this? Like, what's the purpose of this? Not trying to even be funny, though. Not trying to be difficult. Not trying to be cantankerous. What's the purpose of standing outside, chanting, working on your rap skills, threatening people? And this is on both sides. Let me say this on both sides. What's the purpose? There's not one thing that's going to change. Not one thing is going to change in that courtroom with you standing outside hot, making me hot looking at you. I got to take her off the screen, man. Like, what's going to change? Nothing. Not a thing. The purpose is to fundraise for their own motives. Maybe so. That's probably the most logical reason. Yeah, I agree. I think that's another reason why I don't think we should Bronx Girl. This is interesting. I think that you look at BLM. It's funny. Why is BLM not here? So I do think you're on to something there. Like, why is BLM not shown up? Why have they not materialized? And then what are they doing if they're here? Why are they not rolling with the BLM situation? I think it's because they know that he's gonna go to jail. They know he's gonna go to jail. I don't think there's any way around that. I don't know how. I understand what you decreed and declared. I understand that part. But after you stop decreeing and declaring and reality steps in, I don't know how you do that. Let me see. All right. So Black community response to reporter Savannah says, got first insights from some of the supporters inside the Karmelo Anthony trial. Better mind than yours. One woman who states that she was there to report shared that if evidence shows that Anthony was not acting in self-defense, she does not believe the Black community would accept that, stating that they stand by ours regardless. A Black minister standing outside of the courthouse stated that the American justice system is the final frontier of racism and it's legalized here. Throughout the week, the supporters of Anthony have been very high-lipped, or rather tight-lipped, and unwilling to speak with the media. The woman mentioned above was told to stop speaking to our reporter, but by one of the Black Panthers present. Opening statements began on Thursday, and the trial will continue into next week. Okay, yeah, so they're counting Thursday and Friday as day 1 and day 2. Most of us are counting Monday and Tuesday as day 1 and day 2. All right, let's see what happened here. This is interesting. I don't know what this is.
The shoe was on the other foot.
Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
If evidence does come out that Karmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf, do you think that the Black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're going to stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs. We're going to stand by ours regardless. I'm a mother first. I'm a Black mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African-American mother. So I have to put away my color first and step into the motherhood. Nobody wants to see their child slain. So I do want to send prayers to Austin Metcalf, their family. But at the end of the day.
What is that bottle? Can somebody tell me what that bottle is that she got? What is going on here? Are we day drinking out here? They done turned this into a day drinking activity? What in the world is going on here? What is she drinking? What's in this little bottle right here, y'all? Come on. Y'all, come on. Help your brother out. Y'all done, come on, help me out here. What in the world is going on here?
I got to think like, okay, what did you do to him or whatever to cause this to happen, the reaction? We got to start taking accountability for our kids. Because then again, if my kid, that's why it's a catch-22. If my kid was Karmelo and I feel like his back was up against the wall, well, I'm going to tell you straight up, better mine than yours. Better mine than yours. So either way it go, everybody loses. A Black boy allegedly murdered, and I say allegedly, heavy on the allegedly murdered somebody. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, this is about race. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't give a damn.
Who wouldn't give a damn?
The let me say this. Let's say the community.
So like if Karmelo Anthony was the one stabbed and killed by Austin Metcalf,
they wouldn't give a damn.
I come out here every Thursday and we pray for people going to court because we know this is the final frontier of racism and it's legalized here.
And we just say dumb stuff just to get away. We just say dumb stuff to make friends. That's wine? Is that what that is she drinking? She day drinking out here? We just say dumb stuff just to get friends. Dude, go somewhere. You can stand there and pray, but how about you deal with the people in your community? Because once they're on their way to court, it is what it is. Why are you not working with the people in your community to keep them out of that situation? We're just saying stuff.
It's announced yesterday that there's no Black jurors that were chosen. What are your thoughts on that?
That's why we need God. That's why we need God, and that's why he's going to show who's in control.
And would you be open to giving us your personal insights into the Karmelo Anthony trial and what your thoughts are on it?
I just want justice done. You know, we know nobody go to a track meet to murder anybody. Okay, come on. That's an accident, self-defense. That's what it was. I'm not saying the kid should get off free, but first-degree murder? Come on. Basically, he's facing the wrong charge for the crime that was committed.
Do you think Karmelo is innocent? Do you feel like it's been an unfair response to what happened to Karmelo Anthony?
I feel that the justice system always over-respond when it comes to us. So
Karmelo Anthony got out on $250,000 bond. Karmelo Anthony was able to graduate from high school. Karmelo Anthony has been able to be out and about, working on his own defense in freedom. I don't know what this man is talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about. I mean, Karmelo Anthony has been afforded opportunities that many people who've done far less have not been able to be afforded. I'm sorry. I have no idea what this man is talking about.
I mean, you look at the charge. It was self-defense. He was wrestling with two guys. I don't know what the parameters of it, but it was two people.
See, that's how false narratives start taking over. And again, what he just said right here has already been proven false by multiple witnesses yesterday and today. So what are you going to say now? I would love to find this man and ask him, what is he saying right now?
So, 2 against 1, that's self-defense.
But that's not what was happening, though. It wasn't self-defense. Anyway, y'all. Oh, all right. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. I appreciate you all rocking with us. Have no fear. I got a fun one. I'm still going to end on a good one. But I do want to say thank you so much to Ruben. Came up in here with the 10. He blessing you, boy. He said this. At some point, someone's going to have to answer what made Karmelo bring a knife to a sanctioned school function in the first place. I think that's a wonderful question. I have no idea. But I think that's a great question. Now, hopefully they'll find out, or at least they'll shed some light on it. But that's why I'm saying we should have this. This trial should be broadcast and streamed for us to see that. Because that question, I would love to have that question answered. We could all hear the answer to it instead of it getting like filtered down through some various and sundries. Because I think that's a great question, man. Shout out and thank you so much for the very kind 10 super, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, we got something fun, something different. So a couple weeks ago, was it about a week? Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. I did a video about Seattle, Washington, and how the mayor of Seattle, told the people to protest Starbucks and all that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, Starbucks said, hold my latte. We're going to go ahead and start working on a second headquarters in Nashville, Tennessee. And lo and behold, they started moving their operations from Seattle, Washington to Nashville, Tennessee. And elections have consequences. And I don't know if y'all heard about this one, but this one right here is yet again. In the chat, if you like football, could you please tell me your favorite team? Just go and put it in the chat. This is flooded real quick. I just want to see who's your team, or who's the team that you root for every year. Who's the team that you like? We'll do it next year. We're gonna do it. This is gonna be our year. Who's your team? Every year you're rooting for this team. Who is your team? The Cowboys. Okay, Cowboys. The Steelers. All right. Let's go Irish. I love it. I just want to see. I'm trying to work something out here. Washington Commanders. All right. Shout out to them. The Green Bay Packers. Fly, Eagles, fly. The Texans. The Colts. The Houston Oilers. Shout out to the Houston Oilers. The Longhorns. Is it like this? Is that how y'all do it? The horns? Like them horns. Go Horns. Who's that? Is that Eagles? I think that's Eagles. I put my glasses on. Giants. Okay, Lions. All right. LSU. Okay, I like it. Razorbacks and the Steelers. Houston. The Commanders. All right, let's talk about it. Come on, stop being difficult. Okay, efficient. I'll roll with it. All right, so if I said the Bears, what city would that resonate with you? If I said the Bears, what city would you say? Oh, what city is that? What city is that? Crimson Tigers. Wait, isn't that Tuskegee? All right, there they go. You say Chicago. That would be Chicago. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not anymore. Just in, Chicago Bears just approved a massive plan to flee the blue city of Chicago, and Mayor Brandon Johnson is furious and shooketh. He's stunned. The Bears are heading to Red, Indiana. I cannot believe this. They are heading to Indiana. Fool around and find out. This is blue policies coming to severely bite them. Indiana's GOP governor is predictably ecstatic. Exactly what happens when you destroy your city from within. Brandon Johnson has delivered the Bears to Indiana. This sentence I cannot believe.
Advance its
all right, real quick. Let me back.
Development project.
Stop that. Let's back it up. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Yo, this is craziness. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Show with breaking news. The Chicago Bears taking a major step toward building a stadium in Hammond, Indiana. Good afternoon. I'm Dina Bair. The Chicago Bears Board of Directors apparently voted to advance its stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. A statement from team chairman George H. McCaskey and president and CEO Kevin Warren shows an exact site is still to be selected. It adds they believe a world-class stadium project in Hammond will transform the region. Indiana Governor Mike Braun issued a statement very happy, saying in part, quote, "Hoosiers, help me welcome the Chicago Bears to our great state. We look forward to building a partnership as strong as the '85 Bears defense, creating opportunities and economic growth that will benefit our state and the Bears organization for decades to come." An show with
that is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that we're seeing the Bears go to Indiana. That is crazy work. But as we said, elections have consequences. Elections do indeed have consequences. So it's funny because just the other day, right, Republicans like sports too. Just the other day, Brandon Johnson was talking about this on, was it Fox or NBC? Please forgive me, it was on NBC. So let's bring this over. All right, he was talking about this and he was positive. He was positive that Chicago was going to retain the Bears. Let me read this real quick before. Chicago Bears board just voted to relocate to Hammond, Indiana. Chicago mayor 2 days ago. All right, let's go. Let's hear what he had to say. Green Arts in the chat where you can hear.
I mean, this is where you begin to work out the nitty gritty in a negotiation. And there's still more work to be done there. But again, we are a lot further along than any other section in this state.
So you're saying negotiations with the Bears right now, a term sheet on a Chicago proposal?
That was always, that never went away, right? We were always working towards a term sheet. I mean, this is where you begin to work out the nitty gritty.
I don't know, Brandon. Y'all might have been working on a term sheet, but they was working on packing their bags. You working on a term sheet, and they over here trying to buy land somewhere. The Bears are going to Indiana. That sentence is absolutely, I can't believe it. I guess I can. There's really no reason to be surprised. Here, let's get a little quick. This one's a little bit better kind of breakdown of it, and then we'll get into something. I'll get into the lighter topic of the day. All right, Green Arts in chat, you can hear.
As many Americans are feeling the pain of high gas prices, Indiana is giving drivers some relief. Indiana drivers already pay the lowest gas price in the country, with the statewide average at $3.55 a gallon. And now it will get even better. Governor Mike Braun extending the state's gas tax suspension, a move expected to save drivers more than 62 cents per gallon. And wow. Great governor from Indiana, Mike Braun, joins us right now. Mike, good to see you, Governor.
Good to be on, Lawrence.
Yeah, so Governor, how long is this going to last, and what gave you the idea to give your people a little bit more relief, even though you're at the lowest right now?
Well, as you know, I come from the world of running a business and signing the front side of a paycheck. One of the few, the 6 years when I was in the Senate. When you're governor, you've got things you can actually do without having to get a gaggle of 60 senators together. We've been running our state more like a business. We're saving money on the cost side, and we got the hottest economy in the Midwest. So we've got the ability to dip into rainy day funds to do things, because affordability, it is the issue. And if you're not tuned into your property taxes, your utility rates, cost of healthcare, and yes, gas, because you stare at that weekly, we had the ability to do it. And being an entrepreneur my entire life, it was easy to see that's something you did do. We will be able to replenish a lot of that to the locals, even our own state government, through our own reserves. So we did it in May. I extended it again in early June, and now we're going to do it to where it's going to take us through July. And then constitutionally, I've got the option to do it again in July, but it's put us in the catbird seat across the country. Southern part of Indiana, where I live, when I came up to Indy this week, gas was at $3.39. So big
it's lower than here.
Users.
So, Governor, I guess the big question on a lot of folks' mind, especially Chicago, as well as
Look
Indiana.
At him. Look at him.
Are the Chicago Bears?
Look at his face. He is licking his lips. He is ready. He is ready to pounce on this thing. Let me back up. He is, look at that face. He is like, boy, let me tell you something. He said, let me tell you something, boy. Get on over here. Let me tell you this thing. He is licking his chops. Hold on, back up. Watch the governor's face.
Question on a lot of folks' mind, especially Chicago as well as Indiana. Are the Chicago Bears moving to Indiana?
Well, in the 500 parade, that's the thing I had shouted at me most often back a few weeks ago. Yeah, I think now, when I didn't realize it was actually 6 years that the Bears actually reached out to their own government, deaf ear, cranked it up again about 3 years ago. I mean, they've been working on trying to get a deal done for that amount of time. They came to us 6 months ago. We moved at the speed of business and actually wanted to make sure they weren't using us as a bargaining chip. And then their legislature just gabbled themselves out of session at the end of May with nothing. So between the governor, the legislature, the mayor of Chicago, it's been kind of a mess. We are going to be getting this thing through due diligence. And I think the league wants to know. The Bears need to make a decision.
The Bears.
We should know a couple weeks to a month, but we've made it easy all along the way. And when they do come to Hammond, Indiana, they're going to get a lot more stadium for the money they spend. They're going to be in a place that's got a AAA credit rating with the hottest economy in the Midwest. I think they'll make the decision based upon that more than anything else.
Here. Well, Governor, thanks so much for joining Fox and Friends.
That is, I actually do have no idea how we're having this conversation. That is crazy work. Okay, so here's Soldier Field right there in the middle. This is where they're proposing to build the new Bears Stadium in Arlington Heights. But Hammond is saying, look, all you got to do is we're like 6 miles across the Indiana border. Come on over here. Ooh. Now, he doesn't make it sound like it's a sealed deal, though. I noticed that. He doesn't sound like it's a sealed deal. I don't know if he don't want to start end zone dancing and get a penalty or something. But yeah, that is absolutely crazy.
This morning, we really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. You bet.
I would never have thought we were having this conversation. I cannot believe that. Like, the Chicago Bears are proposing leaving Chicago. I was not ready for that conversation. I was not. But man, that's crazy work, y'all. That is crazy work. All right. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Yeah, I think it's going to be safer too. Yeah. Illinois just has a lot that they need to work on. And I think, hey, while y'all working on yourself, we're going to go over here for 25, 30 years and play in Indiana. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. The Bears. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Well, that's true. The Bears, what you say here? The Bears have actually been talking about this for a while. I've been reading about this on social media. Yeah, they said they proposed it 6 years ago. That's like 2020. So shout out to you. Thank you so much. JP up in the building. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So yeah, man, this is a wild deal. But we're gonna see what happens. Y'all. Thank you so much. I heard 25 years, but okay. And look, I heard that most stadium deals are 25 years, but I could be wrong. It could be 40. I mean, the Bears, they're going to be playing for a while. As long as it's not close to the free exit on the tollway at 8090. Really? Thank you, JP. I appreciate you, Gunner. Appreciate you, brother. The Bears. Oh, no, not these. No, go on. They can't even get no love from you. The Bears can't get any love. Come on. The Bears need love too. They need love. Give them love. Okay. We are shifting gears, and I promise you, we've never done this before. This is a gear shift I've never done on this channel ever before. If you tap out, I ain't mad at you, but I just want to have fun today. Most of you may or you may not know. Matter of fact, you may know. I have an affiliation with a particular shoe brand that I'm kind of a fanatic about. I'm dyed in the wool for this particular brand. And most of y'all know the brand that I'm talking about. So I also like every now and then to kind of think about, well, what if something else happened? Oh, hold on real quick. Most of you may or you may not know, I'm a giant Adidas fan. I'm a crazy Adidas fan. Most of you may or you may not know that Michael Jordan actually was an Adidas fan. He was an Adidas fan. However, Nike proposed to him an offer that he just couldn't refuse, and everything else is history, right? So every now and then I wonder, like, what would have happened if Michael Jordan had signed with Adidas instead of with Nike, right? And I every now and then I think about it, as I'm putting on my Adidas socks or whatever. I mean, literally, I have 4 pairs laying on the floor over here by my bookcase. I got a problem. I have a problem. So I thought about it. I said, man, that would be so crazy if Michael Jordan had signed with Adidas. And I ran across a video today, and I cannot believe what I saw. I'm gonna start off with I'm actually kind of like, I cannot believe this person literally heard my question, and they actually answered my question with a video. I can't believe it. So let me go ahead. First of all, let's get warmed up. Shout out to the best live channel on the internet. Let's go ahead and bring in somebody that some of you all may know. Let's bring DMC into the building. Shout out to DMC. He's going to explain why he only wears Adidas, why he can only wear Adidas. So shout out to DMC. Let's go.
Standing there. They
Green hearts in the chat.
Come on, your D, we about to rush your ass. I'm like, what did I do?
The all-time great amongst the most rhymes in New York State.
I got on blue jeans, blue sweatshirt, blue velour. And I got on white and white. I got on these. I always had to be color coordinated. If I had on green in this, stripes got to be green. Had light blue this day, stripes got to be blue. So I'm not comfortable because the stripes isn't blue. So I said, let me go and try to change that. And I go in there and I say, do you have white superstars with the blue stripes? We don't have.
I have those right now.
White superstar with the blue stripe. Now I'm standing around, and over on the podium, they got the blue Air Force One. Because remember, Nelly made a record. And
I got those right now.
Spinning. So I'm looking at it like this, and I'm not thinking, I'm like, could I get away with it? And it wasn't even an Adidas Nike thing. It was just, I need a blue stripe or blue whatever. So I had the blue swoosh. So I say, give me the white Air Force One with the blue swoosh. True story. Put them on, and I leave my old white on whites in it. And I'm walking down Broadway.
The hard rock, hard hip, hop.
And I'm walking. And I look at the bus driver, and all he does is this.
To get the best of me.
And I walk a little further, and the garbage guy. And I'm like, what? What the hell are you doing? I'm like, oh, that's it. I get to the corner of Broadway and Houston. It's police officers standing there. They see me, they come over, your D, we about to rush your ass. And I'm like, what did I do? Come on, man, you can't be wearing it. And I marched back to Foot Locker, took the Nikes off, threw them on, and said, give me my white on white. Will never ever wear another sneaker again. Not only because I love Adidas more, the people won't let me. True story. It's police officers standing there. They see me. They come.
Shout out to DMC. I'm with you, my brother. Now I am pretty vehement. Now I did have to get some walking shoes because your boy's out walking more, trying to get more exercise. And I did get something that was not Adidas because they were recommended because of the way my foot is shaped. So, but that's all. Besides that, though, I'm down with the. Like I said, I got 4 pairs in here. I got the white on blue. I love my superstars. I do. All right. So this is a very interesting video we're going to watch. Shout out to y'all. If you want to hang out, we can. Please do. There's a channel that does like gym shoe restoration. And one of their restorers, his name is Vic Almighty. And Vic had this idea. What if Michael Jordan had signed with Adidas? And that was my question. What would it look like? What would the world look like if Michael Jordan had signed with Adidas? I think the shoe world would be totally different. it would be a different place if Michael Jordan had signed with Adidas. That's what I believe. However, he actually made a pair of Jordans into a pair of Adidas. It is the funniest video. It is so entertaining because he's very passionate about gym shoes. And Vic Almighty is a top tier shoe restorer. And so I thought this was a great video. I had a lot of fun watching it. I'm just rocking with y'all, letting y'all watch it with me. So please, if you don't mind, we're just gonna have a good time. This one is fun. If you don't want to, if you're not interested in how they break down gym shoes and restore gym shoes, then the next couple minutes are going to be, well, the next 20 minutes is, you're not gonna like it. But if you do, I think you'll have fun. So this is just cool. 1984, y'all. I remember 1984. I remember 1984. Your boy was 10 years old. Shout out. Let's get ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, green hearts in the chat, you can hear.
Time. Space. Sneakers. It isn't a straight line. It's a collection of moments stitched together by choices. One decision can change everything and create endless sneaker possibilities. And I've seen every sneaker timeline ever created, pairs that define generations, customs that never should have worked, but did. I am Vic Almighty. What if he didn't just do it? A completely different legacy, no air, no jump man. Follow me as we ponder the question, what if? This is going to be one of the funnest projects I've ever worked on. What if Michael Jordan didn't sign with Nike? What if the Air Jordan 1 never existed? My life and the entire world could probably be so different. All those shoes back there will probably be Adidas. This right here is an original 1985 Jordan 1, the sneaker that started it all. The idea today is to take it fully apart, reconstructed Adidas style. Let's get to work. Now, I could have easily just grabbed any 2026 Air Jordan 1 and done this custom with, but it just would not hit the same unless it was an 85 Jordan 1. Don't worry, I don't have the full pair, so I don't feel as bad for taking this shoe apart and rebranding it with Adidas. With all that being said, before I can create a whole nother shoe, I gotta destroy it. I'm gonna take out the shoelace insole, grab the blade, and start chopping the shoe apart. Old and crusty. Now, the idea for the shoe is to restore it and customize it with Adidas branding. All the Nike branding you see right now is gotta go. The two swooshes on each side, the Nike tongue tag, it's gonna be this Wings logo. I've never wiped off a Wings logo from an actual 85 Jordan 1, so that part is gonna be crazy. Once this shoe is fully customized, put back together, it's gonna be an Adidas sneaker, but this is still an 85 Jordan 1. I wanna keep it as authentic as possible, so I'm gonna keep all the leather, the tongue, OG. I'm only gonna be adding some new parts where I need to. At this point, there is no going back. Once the shoe is fully apart, it's never gonna look the same as it is right now. Let's take one final look at the original Nike Jordan 1. Hear that crunch? That's old foam right there.
It's crusty.
That will get replaced.
I've never owned a pair of Nikes. I don't think I've ever actually put my feet in a pair of Nikes. I've worn some shoes that were not Adidas, but I've never worn Nikes before, ever.
Flakes in there. First things first is popping the sole off. I want to keep it intact. It's cool to keep as a keepsake, but most of the time these crack in pieces. I'm gonna start with a pick. We gotta pick off the entire stitch. Once the stitching is off, we'll grab this screwdriver and we'll start prying off the sole. All right, stitching is off. I can't wait to show you guys the new sole that I'm gonna be putting on this 85 upper. I've always swapped these with Air Jordan 1 soles. It's gonna be the first time ever putting a completely different sole. That was tough. Damn. That's 40-year-old worth of polyurethane and a broken inner unit. All right, sole is off. That was the hard part. Now at this point, we just gotta take the rest of the shoe apart. I'm gonna remove the lasting board, and at that point, start chopping up the shoe. Now at this point, I've taken apart a good 10 to 15 85 shoes apart. I've only seen the hidden text twice. I'm hoping I see it right now. This right here is just like Pokemon. We're gonna rip this pack open to see if we have a Charizard. Damn it, this thing is on there. You can frame this, we can sell this. It's just an awesome piece. We got a Charizard, YouTube. This right here, it says, of the highest quality. freaking sick. Now, the best thing I could do for this upper is give it a good deep clean. I doubt in the last 40 years it's ever been cleaned up. This leather is good, genuine leather. It's still soft, but it's a little stiff. Our solution contains natural oils, and our mink oil does as well. Once we apply it onto the shoe, it's gonna loosen up this leather and give it a nice sheen and just make it healthier overall for years to come. But before we could get to that point, all underneath where the original sole was, it's covered in old glue, old polyurethane. It's very sandy. If I go straight to cleaning up the shoe, all that gunk is gonna get onto the uppers and dry with it. I don't want that. So I'm gonna start the prep work and get that out the way. Basically what I'm gonna do is go outside with the Dremel and shave this interior part down to remove the old glue and get it ready for a good deep clean. Dremeling is done. Before we can start cleaning, we gotta do the exact same thing.
All right, Jason, why are you watching this? I'm always fascinated by people who are passionate about whatever their little hobby is. If it's collecting, if it's cutting grass, if it's restoring, I don't know, Yetis, whatever. I just think it's always cool to watch people who are really passionate about it. Vic Almighty is passionate about customizing Nike shoes. It is so interesting to me. Now, I wish he was customizing, Adidas, but not everybody can be perfect. So one of the things I like is to watch people really passionate about and see, is there anything that's transferable? Can I transfer that to anything else? So, just his meticulous nature here is going to be pretty staggering. So I'll make sure I leave the link to this if you want to go check out what they're doing over here. I think it's super interesting, but how meticulous he is about, he's going to take this whole shoe apart. Like literally every piece of it is going to come apart. And the fact he's going to put it back together again. And again, it's going to be an Adidas. Like I was staggered. I was stunned. It's going to be an Adidas. I'm absolutely nerding out. This is my third time watching it. Yep. Generally speaking, I don't watch my videos before I react to them. But this one I watched, and I'm so glad I did. I love watching people. That's why I joke about auto detailing, because I like when people find something that they're really good at and they just do it. And you're like, wow, I would take my car all the way to California for you to detail my car because you do such a great job. I would I just think it's so cool. So anyway, that's why we're watching this. So shout out to Vic Almighty at Shoe Rejuvenator. Let's go.
On its collar area, we got to remove all the old foam. This is a common issue with 85s. Over time, the comfy foam that once was turns into cereal. You can hear it. Just a bunch of nasty stuff inside. What I don't want to do is grab water and solution and get it on that stuff. It turns really messy. I'm going to grab the seam ripper, pop the stitching off from both panels right here. There's a black stitch line on both sides. Once I pop it off, the sock liner should be able to lift and all that old foamy stuff inside will come right out. I don't think I'm going to wear a mask for this one. This is what's inside all your 85 sneakers. Glad I wore a mask. This stuff is disgusting. See?
Then you play with it though.
Old foam. Probably bad for me to touch as well.
Right.
But the last thing you want to do is keep this in your shoes and wear them. That's disgusting. We have a clean base to work with before we actually go in and clean up the shoe. I'm going to clean out this entire desk before we can move on with this restoration. When it comes down to it, my favorite thing when it comes to working on 85 Jordan 1s is giving it its first deep clean ever. The materials they use on this shoe is high quality, good thick leather all around. Right now at the moment it's crunchy and dried out. Our Rejuvenator solution contains natural oils. Once it's applied onto the leather, it helps recondition it and keeps it healthy for years to come. All you need is a couple drops mixed with some water. This stuff is highly concentrated. The only brush I'm going to be using is our soft bristle brush. It's the best brush to create the most suds, and it's going to work perfectly on these leather uppers.
All right, let's turn this into therapy. All right, now I'm not Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Let's turn this into therapy hour. Go ahead and put your guilty pleasure, whether it be, guitar amps or watching food videos, watching car detail videos, those grass restoration videos where the guy comes and takes a house that's been completely overgrown with weeds and cuts it down. Just put in the chat. Go ahead. There's no judgment zone here. No judgment. Let's go.
Now, normally when it comes to 85s, I'm very careful when it comes to the collar area. So you can see it's starting to lift up and peel pretty bad. I might touch it up later, so I'm not really worried about it. It's going to start flaking off as I work on the shoe. So far, so good. What I'm not worried about is saturating the sneaker. That's exactly what I want. I want this upper to be soaking wet so the solution can penetrate the leather and do its work. With this cleaning, I scrub the entire upper. The one thing I'm not worried about is the insides. Normally, I scrub the insides as well. In this case, it's all going to get replaced, so I'm not worried about that one right now. One thing I like to do when the leather is all soaked up is to try to reshape the shoe in areas that I can. There's a lot of heavy creasing. toe box crushed, same thing with the sides. It's easier to reshape the sneaker when it's wet. It's not gonna remove all the creasing, but it's definitely gonna make a difference. Normally I put the upper on a last for it to dry, but in this case, I don't have a size 11, so we're trying to make it work. It's not perfect, but it'll do. That looks good. Let's put the shoe outside to dry. Real quick, can't forget about the shoelace. This is also OG. We want to give it a good clean. What I like to do with these laces though, I like to just let them sit inside some water and solution and just let them marinate for a couple days. Right now the water is pretty clear. In 24 hours, you're gonna see this water turn yellow. Let's go outside. Be back in 30. Shoes all cleaned up and dried. The leather on this sneaker feels softer and much healthier. The size 9 last wasn't a perfect fit, but it did help a lot. As you can see on that toe box, it has a better shape to it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off this last. We don't need it no more. Now for the fun part, deconstruction. Got my tools right here, some scissors, seam ripper, and a blade. I'm gonna start taking the shoe apart very carefully. What I don't wanna do is cause more damage to the leather, so I'm gonna take my time. Deconstruction is out the way. This was a dirty process. You guys already know what the Jordan 1 looks like, but I'm gonna break down every single piece that comes with the Jordan 1. To start, the Jordan 1 tongue, Nike tongue tag. This right here is the vamp. Right here, we got the classic mud guard that goes on the vamp. 2 swooshes. These are like made out of vinyl, not leather. These are the eye straps. Right here, we got the medial and lateral corduroy panels. On the inside part, we got some old canvas. This will get replaced. Let's remove that now. Yeah, this is old. I would not put my foot on this. Same thing. This is the backing that went on the vamp. Trash as well. This right here is the collar area with the sock liner still attached. Oh, wow. I'm gonna do my best to restore this collar. It's pretty bad looking. Luckily, the sock liner has no holes, so we'll reuse this as well.
That's crazy.
This right here is the heel panel with the heel counter inside. This will give it its shape. Without it, it will just be a flimsy piece of leather. The ankle piece with the classic Wings logo. And lastly, the medial and lateral pieces where the shoelaces go. This right here is the entire Jordan 1. We got to make sure we don't lose anything. We got to reconstruct it back together. Next up is some off-camera work. I'm going to get all these pieces cleaned up and ready by removing all the stitches so we can start putting the shoe back together. Now, at this point in the process, I got all the little loose threads removed, all the pieces fully dusted off. I even took care of some prep work. For these quarter panels, I sanded down the entire piece to remove any roughness. Ultimately though, I need to cover up this original swoosh. Both of these panels gotta be perfectly smooth, like the swoosh is never on there. We're gonna be using some leather filler. This step takes a long time. I'm gonna apply a coat, let it dry, do some sanding, lay down some more leather filler, probably do some more sanding.
Wait, you talking about that guy that cleans the carpets? They get these really nasty, dirty carpets and they clean it? That is interesting. I'm sorry. I had to stop on that one. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've watched that multiple times. Lots of time has been wasted watching it. Oh my gosh. I love those guys. I love them. Wait, I like watching cooking videos. I like it when the food turns out pretty and then the cook takes a bite and it looks like he or she is in heaven. I love it. I love it. I wonder, is ancestors more cobblers known? Insult intended, of course. I don't know. I don't remember Vic's history. I just know he's passionate about this doggone restoring shoes, man, or customizing shoes. I think that is just an interesting. I just love the fact that you can come up something you're passionate about. You can find a way to make a living of it. That I just absolutely love it. I like talking, and I make a living talking, right? He likes customizing shoes, and he's done some crazy customizations, some absolutely wild customizations. So shout out to Vic Almighty. Let's go.
Buy some more. Basically, I'm gonna redo this step over and over again until these quarter panels are 100% perfect. Leather fillers applied. That step's gonna take a while. In the meantime, let's jump over to the collar area.
Come on.
We are gonna be using the original sock liner and the original material for the collar. At the moment though, this stuff is peeling like crazy. Most of the time, I like to leave this as is and not mess with it. However, in this case, it's pretty bad and it's only gonna get worse. So at this point, I'm gonna try to scrub it all off and figure something else out. Now, looking at all these parts by themselves, they're in really good condition. Most of these don't have any deep scratches, just some light surface patina. First, I'm gonna give it a quick wipe down with some acetone, so later on, I can touch it up with some paint. Part 1 of the prep looks good. Next, I'm gonna grab some 600 grit sandpaper. It's not too bad, but there's a couple areas, such as the heel panel and a couple areas on the mud guard that are pretty rough. Before I paint it, you wanna sand it down to get it nice and smooth. So here's where I'm at after 2 coats of leather filler. Overall, it looks great. Now the key here is to get the finish and the feel of it all 100% consistent throughout the entire panel. To do so, I'm gonna do some more sanding with some 1500 grit sandpaper and 1000, lay down some more black paint. I'm gonna go back and forth until this job is fully complete. This could take another hour or two. These right here, I paid 20 bucks, super cheap. Don't need a shoe. Literally the only thing I need, black and red woven tags that'll go nicely with the Jordan 1s.
I'll take them.
20 bucks, I would say it was worth it. I'm gonna take these off very carefully. I only need one, but I'm gonna take off both just in case. The rest of the shoe will go into the donation pile.
I'll take
the
them,
shoes just
Vic.
fine. These will go in donation. All right, this is the first piece of
No
Adidas
Adidas
branding
left
for
behind,
Jordan
man.
1. Can't wait to put it on the tongue. Now we wait for pair number 2 to come in the mail. And just like that, pair number 2 just came in the mail. This is what we're working with, the Home Alone Adidas Forum. Got these for 50 bucks on eBay, super cheap. These are a size 11, the 85s are 11 and a half. The way those shoes work though, you gotta go half a size down for the soles. With that being said, this will be the sole that we're gonna be using for the Jordan 1. I did my Googles, the Adidas
I have
Forum
no
came
idea
out in
what
1984.
I have no idea what the customization is on that shoe. Is that like eyelashes or something? I have no idea what that is.
The same exact time that MJ would have signed with Adidas. If you ask me, this is probably the sole they would have used for that sneaker. But before we could get there, we got to take the shoe apart. There are some parts on the shoe that I want to save for a future project, such as the tongue tags, the strap, the shoelace, insole. I'm going to remove all that stuff, including the stitching on the sole, to get ready to remove the upper from the sole. All the good stuff is off the shoes. Pop the thread off. I'm gonna put some acetone in the sneakers, let it sit in the back for about 10 minutes, and the uppers will slide right off. I struggled pretty bad trying to get the soles off those 85s, 40-year-old sneakers. These just came out with a little acetone. They slide right off like butter. Now the colors need some work. Originally, I scraped off all the old stuff. It was super flaky. At this point, we just have the brown canvas. Looks pretty ugly as is. Now at this point, the only way to fix it is by painting it, but there is a good technique to make it look like how it originally was, give it a nice smooth finish. To start, I'm gonna cover up this entire brown area with some Andrews flat black paint. I don't wanna get any paint on the sock liner.
I wonder why he didn't use the airbrush.
Got it nicely covered up. I'm not worried about the center area. That's gonna get covered up by the red leather. Now to seal this, we're gonna be laying down some matte finish. Same exact thing with the paintbrush in one direction. Now to finish this step and make it feel like the original vinyl material, I'm gonna use some parchment paper, put it over the material, and with a little iron, just press over it. What that's gonna do is lock in the paint, give it that slick feel, and also give it that slight shine. Now I'm gonna jump back to the sole. It does have a nice creamy tint all around the right. However, it doesn't look vintage enough. So for this, we're introducing the coffee method. We want to get it a lot more yellower looking, like it looks like it's 40 years old. So I'm going to brew up some coffee, put the sole in the tray. Once it's all ready to go, I'll pour it inside, let it sit for about 10 to 20 minutes until I get the perfect shade. Now this project requires a lot of work with the restoration and customization. The soles are cooking right now in the coffee. To multitask, I'm going to start painting the leather parts. Got the red pieces right here and black. For this, I'll be using some flat black paint and this custom mix paint. This red is 100% match to this stuff. It's got to be on point. I think I'm gonna start with the red, move on to the black. In just a few minutes, we're gonna check on those soles. At this point, it's about 20 minutes. I don't wanna overdo it, the sole out so we can rinse it. That is giving 1985. Now, jumping back to the sole, check out that nice creamy tint. Has a beautiful natural vintage tone all around. The rubber, the plastic on the heel cup tucked nicely, especially the netting right here. It looks straight up vintage. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the oak glue. That way when the upper is ready, this sole is already ready to go. Now the next piece of Nike branding that's gotta go.
Watch
is the
this.
logo. However, it would be a complete crime to go in with some acetone and wipe the full thing off. It's in really good condition. The only thing I wanna do for this part is remix the wings logo. For the most part, I wanna keep it as is. The thing is, the main part that I really want to change is the air piece. That is very Nike. I want it to be very on brand with 80s Adidas basketball. So my best choice for this is Pro Jordan. It fits perfectly in where the air is, and I don't have to go in and remove the Jordan. Pro Jordan sounds something like Adidas would have named the sneaker. I'm going to go in and carefully prep the air. I'm also going to go in and change up the basketball line work. For the most part, I want to keep it as is, but I just want to change the style of the basketball. First, let's prep it up with some sandpaper. Then we'll go in with some black paint. So I got the basketball sanded down. The thing with the Wings logo from 85, everything is etched in. You can see the line work and the basketball even with the paint off. I'm gonna grab a small iron and some parchment paper and try to remove that line work. All right, at this point, that's as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna lay down some red paint to cover up the ball and some black paint to cover up the air. We'll go from there. So at this point, here's where I'm at. I removed the old basketball, covered up the old air. Now it's time to apply the new stencils. I got the Pro right here. I think it's the perfect size. Just got to mess with it a little bit. I got a new shaped basketball. The idea for this is to kind of keep it the same Wings logo, but with a little remix. I don't want to overdo it. I just want it to be nice and subtle.
It's a little remix.
It comes out smooth because this is a big part when it comes to 85 Jordan 1. I'm super happy with how the basketball turned out so far.
Crazy.
It's super factory. Now this next part is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to be putting the Pro in front of the Jordan, but it's got to have the exact same spacing, the exact same curvature, and the red's got to be on point. So with that being said, I'm going to lay it down and at that point adjust it if I need to. Probably spray one letter at a time just so I can make sure everything looks good.
That is crazy.
The painting portion is fully out the way. Moving on with this restoration and custom, when I was Googling the 1984 Adidas forums, one little detail that I noticed, all the lace holes have metal eyelets just like this. It's a subtle detail, but I think it makes a big difference with this build. The only problem is the backing wasn't long enough to get all the layers of leather. So to make it work, I'm just gonna do it on a single piece of leather. I'm gonna start with the black ones, make sure they're on point, and then finish with the red. Next up is the quarter panels. Now at this point, it's all about replacing the old branding. I went on Amazon and found some material that's really close to the original material they used for the swooshes. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a
Remember what you said here, Heather. Remember what you said here. Just remember it. Just remember what you said.
They all got to be the exact same. Now at this point, super easy stuff. You just cut right outside the line. Make sure you keep it nice and consistent to create those perfect Adidas stripes. Now in order to make sure everything's pieced properly, exactly how it went before, we got to apply some glue first. Once it's good to go, we'll heat it up, stay it together, and then with the sewing machine, lock it in place. I'm going to be applying a bunch of glue on every single piece. That way I can just focus on sewing afterwards. Glue is fully laid down. Now there's one material that I still got to replace, and that is backing for the vamp and the quarter panels. Luckily, I got the same exact material in the perfect tin to match the age. That's a major difference. Now, before I can attach this entire piece onto the leather, I gotta sew the tongue, the backing, and the leather. The way this works is you attach the tongue onto the vamp, put this canvas piece right over it. Once it's sewn on, you flip it over, glue it on, and that should be it. All right, all three parts are connected. Looks a little funky right now. We're gonna go to the machine and add 2 stitch lines, and that'll lock everything in place. Now, at this point, I'm gonna spray some spray glue onto the canvas so I can lay it over the leather and start sewing once again. So far, so good. The next part we're gonna sew on is this black piece onto the red vamp. Not gonna lie, this part was super easy to match up. Just by going off the creases, you know exactly where everything went. Now to lock everything in place, we're gonna add some black stitching now. This panel right here is probably one of the most important pieces when it comes to the sneaker. We remove the swoosh, cut out some new Adidas stripes. Now back to the front part of the shoe. This is probably gonna be the wildest tongue tag swap I've ever done. We already removed the original 85 tongue tag. Now we're gonna be replacing it with a perfect, authentic, bred Adidas tag. Now we're not done yet. Normally I would just lay down some glue and get it ready for a Jordan 1 sole, but because we're using a completely different sole, so what I started doing already was creating a new glue line all around. It's gotta match up with the new sole. So you can see where the new glue line is, that's where I gotta Dremel. I gotta remove all this stuff underneath before I can apply the glue. When doing this step, you wanna make sure you go over it 2 or 3 times to make sure everything's symmetrical. Once you start Dremeling, you really can't go back. Prep work's out the way. I'm gonna lay down some glue on the upper, on the sole, let it cure for about an hour, and then we'll start bonding. There is no going back now. Glue is fully cured. I'm gonna start with the front, work my way to the back, then do the sides. At this point, I don't wanna mess up. I did like 2 weeks worth of work. It was set to mess it up now. Wow, it's almost surreal looking at this final product. Real quick, without thinking about it too much, I need you guys to look at this shoe, drop a comment down below, and tell me exactly what you think. Does this work? Or is this just completely wrong? If I had to name this project, I would...
Hold on, because he's going to name the project. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about it? Let me catch you in a better spot.
Does this work? Or is this...
All right, what do y'all think? I thought it looked fantastic. I'm not a big basketball shoe wearer, but that looks outstanding. Who would have thought that wasn't real? I'm still just a little taken aback, like, wow, that's not real. I mean, that's crazy. All right, so remember Heather Rose, I told you to pay attention. Watch what he says here. I thought that was serendipitous what you said. Let's go.
Just completely wrong. If I had to name this project, I would call it Project Patience. Every single step took so long to execute, you guys, but the final product looks so crazy. I'm so proud of all the work that went into this sneaker. Everything for the most part is flawless. It's a used old sneaker, but it got restored and obviously customized. Not a single piece of this 4-year-old sneaker was left untouched. Let's talk about everything that went on with this sneaker. Obviously, we started off with the 1985 red Jordan 1. We took it down to pieces. The entire insides were completely rotten. As you can see right here, these are the old collar foams. Something you don't want to breathe. Same thing with the internals. Grimy, never been cleaned up before. All of that stuff got completely replaced. Check out this insole. Again, this is what happens to shoes after 40 years old. During the breakdown process, we also discovered this crazy gem of the highest quality. And this sneaker right here is definitely of highest quality. We replaced all the Nike branding, original Nike tongue tag, that got removed. Original swooshes, carefully removed as well. And of course, the original Jordan 1 sole, gone as well. Now this right here is the first ever official What If Adidas Jordan 1. Two of the most noticeable things about this custom is obviously the 3 stripes and the brand new Adidas Forum sole. Another thing I added that I took inspiration from the original Forums is the plastic eyelets all across the entire top piece. Got all the black ones and red ones on top. Beautiful touch. Going back to the Adidas stripes, that is definitely one of the biggest pieces when it comes to this custom. I didn't want too much negative space to be on this panel. We did a great job removing that swoosh. You can barely even see that it's there. If you look very closely, you might see a little bit of the imprint on both sides. But
I don't
again,
see
I'm
it.
not complaining. That's just the
I've been looking for a while. I did not see it. I think Vic is just sentimental to it because I couldn't see it.
ghost of the swoosh. Now, one thing I really want to talk about is the new Wings logo. Plus, those 3 letters are already in Jordan, so all I had to do in the design process was replicate those letters in order to make that Pro fit nicely with the Pro Jordan. You can barely even tell that it's been repainted. Same thing with the basketball. A lot of people don't notice it at first, but it's been completely shifted. The original basketball on the Jordan 1 Wings go in that direction. Mine is perfectly centered. All in all, a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of patience went into the sneaker, but I'm extremely happy and excited to put this shoe with the rest of my customs. Drop a comment down below on what you think about the sneaker. Let me know what you think what the road will look like if MJ signed with Adidas. This is Vic Almighty. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.
Shout out to Vic. All right, I just thought that was something cool. I just want to do something different tonight. I thought that was super cool that he was able to do that. And again, I find it so interesting that he's very passionate about shoe restoration, as you can tell, and he gets at it. I just thought that was super wild. What would it be like? What would it be like? What would it be like? All right, creatives, artists, and artisans are their own worst critics. I thought he did a great job, though. I thought he was being I thought he was extremely reasonable, not critiquing himself. But Rejuvenator definitely did a great job and supporting him. He's got some other fun projects. Let me make sure I drop the link to this one right now in the chat. He's got some other fun projects, restoring shoes to try to keep selling them and reselling them and keep selling them until he's able to buy like a very expensive pair of shoes, stuff like that. I mean, and of course, they do like cleaning videos and stuff like that. I just thought it was super wild. So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, everybody who tapped in. Let me just make sure there wasn't another one we could watch. Maybe we'll add this to our body cams. We'll take a little body cam vacation off the beaten path. I had no idea sneakers could be deconstructed like that. Yeah, I was surprised too when I found it out. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You'll go down this rabbit hole. Don't go down. Don't get lost. Though. Don't get lost. Oh gosh, don't send me any. No, don't send me any. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I don't need to be any more off task. I don't need to be off task anymore. Shout out to the best live chat. Hey, shout out to Eric. He's a member for 2 months. He said it's a 2-month membership milestone. I'd better make it count. Whoever believes in Jesus should not perish, but have eternal life. Amen. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Anyway, I thought that was fun. The goal was just to have a different kind of night tonight, watch something fun, learn something different, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, talking about the Karmelo Anthony case. I might not. I'll be back on Monday. I'm not going to do a recap on this weekend. I just don't think that it's really. I don't know. I don't really like it like that. So, but I will be back on Monday. We'll talk about it on Monday. Give me some time off from there. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to Chicago. Chicago Bears are going to be the Indiana Bears. Does Indiana have a sports team? I don't think they have the Pacers, but do they have they don't have a football team. They can't. So shout out to the Bears. They're making a run for it. And of course, thank y'all so much. When in doubt, don't. Yeah, I don't think I was going to do the Hammond Bears is crazy. Are they going to stay the Chicago Bears? I don't know, y'all. Anyway, I don't know. That's a great question. But I do want to say thank y'all so much for a great week. Thank you so much for a fantastic May. I'm looking forward to having a great rest of the month of June. We will be having some new guests coming in periodically. I got a guest coming in that you all will really like, especially as the Karmelo Anthony case gets closer to an ending. Hopefully, our next guest that we have scheduled for next week will be able to speak on that intelligently. So stay tuned on that. I'm kind of giving you an idea who the person is if you paid attention there. But thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the very kind supers. Thank you so much, Ruben, for being the stream sponsor. Thank you so much for that, sir. Thank you. Welcome, Lady Reacts. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for popping in and for being a member for 2 months, Eric. Thank y'all both. I am going to go and talk to Lady Dearworld Christian and see what she's got going on. Chief Executive Secondborn is at work, and I am on pickup duty unless her sister wants to pick her up, which would be great. Let me just double check, make sure what time I'm supposed to pick her up. Ooh, she worked till 10 o'clock. I don't know. It might be time to go to bed. But y'all, I want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for making our guest, Neeson Black, feel so welcome. So much that we've already scheduled our next one. I have been reaching out to some other content creators that you all have asked about, and I will keep you posted as they're going to be coming on the show and give you some updates on that. But I'm just giving you a heads up. If some of them are overseas or like in Australia, shout out, you know what I'm talking about. We might have to do some early morning show or something like that, because sometimes it's hard for them to get them on, on our schedule. So we might have to do like an early morning show or something like that, or a late night show. That might be hard on your boy. But we might be try to be a little flexible for them, because I love to have people come in, especially from Australia and abroad, but we might need to work on our timing. But I'll give you a heads up on that. It's not anything that we can change, but it might not be 3 o'clock. It might be like noon or something like that. So we'll keep you posted. Again, thank y'all so much. Let me make sure I got my notes. We've hit everything. Thank you to all my brand new members. Welcome to y'all. Thank y'all for rating the merch store, by the way. Yeah. In the month of June, y'all crushed it. We got rid of 13 new items went out. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for crushing that. Thank you so much. As always, I want to say thank you so much to the moderators. Y'all really make this thing work. So thank you all so much for that. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing this again tomorrow, Saturday. We will be doing body cam bingo. So come on over here. Make sure you got your popcorn, got your beverage, and we're going to play body cam bingo. If you don't know what body cam bingo is, stay tuned to see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. That's everything, y'all. I'm gonna go see what my bride is up to and laugh and talk and tell jokes until we gotta go pick up my baby. So thank y'all so much, every last one of you. I'm glad y'all hung out with us tonight. Let me know what y'all thought about the shoe restoration. What you think about Chicago Bears going to Hammond, Illinois? What do y'all think? Hammond, Indiana? What do y'all think about the Karmelo Anthony case? All this stuff. Let me know in the comments. I really do appreciate it. We're gonna get ready to rock out of here. So let everybody have a fantastic night. I'll see you all real soon. Until then, grace and peace. Take care.